Hey guys, welcome back. Modii 101 here, and we're back in the world of Infinity, picking up right after we left off. In the last episode, we finally got our smeltery finished, and we're able to do some stuff to get some bronze for our pickaxe. So, now what we're going to do a couple quick things here. First off, we're going to fix this bad boy up real quick. Great. And we're actually going to break this and take this with us. Now, I need to go do some mining. Some kind of mining, some underground exploring, see what kind of mess we can get into, right? But at the same time, usually I would just do that off camera. But I thought this time, do we have any coal? At 8 coal. Let's make some more sticks. What I was thinking for this video is that I would do mining on camera. And I know a lot of you are probably grumbling, but please don't stop the video. Hear me out, okay? What I'm thinking is maybe we'll have a little chit-chatty time, a little story time, right? All right, so let's head out. Cecil, watch the house. Lock up if you're going to leave. All right, no parties. So I just figured we would hang out and, BS. Unless you hear me scream, honestly, if you want to look around the internet or do whatever and just kind of listen to this one, I'm cool with that. That seems like a plan. But anyways, so one thing I wanted to kind of talk about was YouTube, which seems a little redundant for me to talk about YouTube on YouTube. But what I mostly want to talk about was you guys. And because I get messages all the time about how people want to start YouTube, or they've recently started YouTube, or even for that matter, streaming. That's another one I get a lot of. Can I do this? What if I put it here? Can I do it now? What if I put these ones here? Sorry, hold on. What if I put them here? There we go. That's what I wanted. Anyways, so, and I've had a lot of people. Ooh, diamonds. I've had a lot of people ask me, about what programs to use or how to get started or anything else. And they just generally have a lot of questions about this because, if you're new to this, it can be a little daunting. It can be a little scary. A lot of work, a lot of things you got to kind of learn quickly. And I'm, telling you this from experience, because you guys got to remember, compared to a lot of other guys that you guys watch, I really haven't been doing this long. Like doing YouTube, it's been about 1.5 years. Now, that seems like a really long time, but in the grand scheme of things, when you think about how, Husky's been doing it for twice as long, 3 years, longer than that, probably by this point. It's really not that huge of a number, so. But, like I said, the one big thing is that, when you start recording, you have to kind of decide from the get-go, and it's not saying you can't change this later, but you want to kind of decide what you want to do. And that sounds like a dumb phrase even to myself, but if you what I'm saying is, okay, do you want to be a Minecraft YouTuber? Do you want to play other games? Do you want to not just be one kind of YouTuber? I don't want to, there's a lot of people who don't want to be known as a Minecraft YouTuber or a whatever YouTuber. They want the freedom to be kind of whatever they want to be, right? And that's cool. That's perfect, But you want to kind of figure that out because, you want to kind of start with your content. I understand that not everybody can, kind of afford everything right off the bat. But, the big thing, the biggest thing I've found is you take what you can use, you take what you can find, and you just work at it. You put in the work. Like, I don't think a lot of you guys understand, is each YouTuber is different, even though we kind of come across on your screen as kind of in the same mold. First of all, we don't all know each other, so I mean, a lot of us may know a lot of us, but we don't know everybody. You have no how many times like somebody will be like, "Oh, you're on YouTube, cool. Say hi to Sky for me." I'm like, I've never met Sky. So if when I do, I'll write down your name and I'll make sure I let him know. But you know, I mean, okay. So here's the biggest thing. Here's the biggest thing. Is you want to try and find programs. They're not cheap. So to let you guys kind of know. And for any of you guys that don't know, I did story time on Daybreaker, but I kind of did it late in the series when people had kind of started losing interest in it. So I think it was just a little bit more like, I hate to use this phrase, but hardcore fans that saw it. People that get bored, and trust me, there's plenty of series that even my friends do that they love doing and people love watching. I just get bored watching them, and I don't watch them. And doesn't mean they're doing anything wrong. Doesn't mean I'm doing anything wrong. I just, whatever. It's your cup of tea, right? So, except for my videos, you have to watch every single one of them. Don't go anywhere. You stay here until you're all caught up. I'll wait. Caught up? Good. Okay. So, anyway. And oh, by the way, for any of you guys don't know, whenever I'm telling a story, it's all over the place. It is seriously all over the place. So, but one big thing to do is you got to have fun with it. All right, yes, you got to get the right programs, and yes, you're going to want the high-end, microphone and the super strong computer. Honestly, do the best you can with what you have. Don't worry about what everybody else is using. Don't, feel like you're going to, I don't feel like doing this anymore because I don't have, this microphone or this kind of computer or this kind of keyboard or any of that stuff. And to be honest with you, like I said, I mean, it's one of the reasons why I personally you don't really see any information about my setup, my computer, anything like that because, I mean, I have what I have. I mean, there's times that there's things I can't do with it. There's things I can't. Get sore. I can't take care of with my computer. And like I said, the big thing is you just got to figure out how to do the best with what you have. Take cues from other YouTubers. And even your friends. Record with your friends. I've been doing this longer than, say, like Snoop or Heather or Krista or most of the people, the majority of the people in the squad. But I'll tell you right now, I learn stuff from all of them, all the time, And, I hear lava. And, you'll learn all kinds of stuff. I mean, for me, to be honest with you, some of the early people, and you guys should, check these guys out. People that kind of inspired me before I started was like Bentley, the only Bentley. He's super awesome guy. Probably one of the few people that I ever, for lack of a better term, got a little fanboyish of. That I was really excited to meet and kind of become friends with. That was super cool for me. The guys over at You Always Win, those were guys that I watched early on. And then, of course, Husky and Dartron and Kyle and Jerome and literally, I mean, people that I may have only recorded with a couple of times or talked to a couple of times. Zombie Unicorn is one of the sweetest people on the planet, and it's just, like I said, but at the same time, I learned stuff from Snoop when he started doing YouTube, things that I had done it a year before him and just never thought of, So that's the big thing is, play with your friends. Maybe if your computer can't handle, recording, say, a mod pack, go play some mini games, go do that. Go have fun with that. The most important thing is have fun. And, the big thing is, even if your friends don't do YouTube, they're not, generally, most people aren't going to complain. No, I don't want you putting my likeness on the internet. Whatever. Everybody's going to dig it, And who knows, maybe you'll inspire them to start doing it. I'm not saying I'm the reason completely, but I know I had a hand in Heather and Krista and Snoop and Lynn and all these people who started doing YouTube. Even though Patty did it long before we met, you know, she got back into it, you know, doing Minecraft. She used to do RuneScape. So, you know, one thing that I learned early on was from Husky, from good old Husky Mudkips. And a lot of you guys may not even know this or remember it, to be honest with you. When I started recording, right? And pretty much the only person I ever recorded with was Fitz, you know, our good old buddy Fitz. And we would record some stuff, but mostly I did solo things and whatnot. And when Husky asked Fitz and I if we wanted to do a faction series with him, of course, you know, we freaked out a little bit. We kept our cool, you know, in front of him, but, you know, behind, there was a lot of squealing involved. Just kidding. Or maybe I'm not. Anyways, but, how's my inventory looking? Oh, good. Anyways, when Husky first recorded with me, I had 132 subscribers, okay? The majority of them I personally knew. They were people that I either played with on other servers or people that was literally just friends. And, you know, I would do... And that probably took me... To get to 132, I'd probably say it took me months, maybe 3, 4 months, 5 months, something like that. Maybe let's just say 4 months to get 132 subscribers, right? And, you know, so we, you know, Fitz and I met Husky because we used to work on a server that he was a part of and owned. And, you know, we just happened to get into a call just being part of the server one night and just chit-chatted with him. And, you know, the nice thing is, this is a big thing to kind of keep in mind. I think he liked us. I mean, besides the fact that he thought we were funny and, you know, we made him laugh and whatnot. I think one of the things he may have liked, and this is, you know, I've never really asked him this, but we just talked to him like a person. You know, we talked about YouTube. We asked him questions and whatnot, but we didn't freak out and we didn't ask him for anything. We didn't, you know, we just like, hey, you know, this is something I've thought about with YouTube. What are your thoughts? Or, hey, I'm having a problem with this, or any tips or anything like that. So, and the one big thing, like I said, when we started recording with him is that we straight up asked him the same question that I'm sure plenty of other people asked was, why in God's name are you recording with us? You know, Fitz had about 1,000 subscribers, give or take. And I had, like I said, a little over 100. And, you know, Quentin was at 1.5 or 1.8 million. So a little bit of a gap there between the numbers, I would say. Anyways, and he said, you know what? Recording isn't about the number of subscribers somebody has. It's not about how big or how small a YouTuber, or however you want to classify it, someone is. It's about having somebody that you get along with, that you gel with, that, you know, compliments you in reference to your humor and vice versa. So, I mean, you know, and I'll be dead honest with you, that mentality is kind of been the cornerstone of everything that I've done since then. You know, that was one big thing I always told myself is like, you know, hey, if I can, you know, what's on fire? If I can, you know, squeeze something out of this YouTube thing, you know, get any even just ounce of notoriety from this, I'm going to do what I can to help my friends, you know, if this is something they want to do. And, you know, that's really kind of what I focused. Oh, there's finally coal. Jesus. And that's what I've done, you know, if it's helping promote, if it's recording or just whatever. But the biggest thing, you know, and this is the one thing you got to keep in mind, if you're going to record with people, really kind of look for a group of people that you could say, you know what, if I stop playing Minecraft tomorrow, these people would still be my friends. And I'll tell you right now, if you can get that, you're good, you know. And then from there, it's like I said, it's just, you know, same thing with stream. If you guys look, If you guys, for any of you guys who have never gone and checked out the stream, go down to the Twitch link below and follow. This isn't a little promote. I'm gonna start heading back, by the way, because we're getting near the end of this episode. This isn't. I'm not promoting anything right now. I'm just saying, come hang out. If you guys think I'm funny, or if you think I'm dumb, that's fine. You're not wrong. Or whatever. But, you like Snoop, you like me, you like Heather, or a combination of us, or none of us. Who cares? Whatever. If it's none of us, it's kind of weird that you're here. But come hang out, because we stream a couple times a week, and we have a lot of fun. You get a lot of interaction. It's a lot easier for us to kind of hang out and chit-chat with people in a stream than it is to basically comment back to every comment and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. So, but once again, if you guys come watch us play or even watch the videos, we're not faking it. We're all friends. We sit there and BS. I'll obviously I talk to Heather all the time. She's my girlfriend and all. But even with Snoop, me and Snoop probably talk 10 times more a week than we do for recording. Hell, sometimes we record late. Like, it takes us like 5 hours to record 4 videos because we're BSing in between each one and just chit-chatting with each other. And that's, like I said, the most important part. Don't record with somebody just because they can help you. Don't record with somebody just because you might get something out of it, because that's going to kind of come back and bite you in the butt someday. You're going to because then all of a sudden people start doing it to you and you're like, oh God, I hate that. And it's like, whatever, dude. That's how you did this whole thing. So, but the big thing is have fun, do what you can, do what's in your means. If all of the, recording and rendering software is something that's a little bit outside, try streaming. Honestly, most of the stuff with streaming is like legitimately free, like legally free. I'm not saying that you should ever download anything illegal. I'm just simply saying, OBS is free. Most of the programs we use, all the stuff for all the little graphics, everything, all of it's free. And, try that out. There's a lot of people who dig streaming and hate doing, YouTube and stuff like that. So go try that out. Oh, we did a pretty good little haul here. I'm not real wild about the quantity of coal we got. I wish we got a little bit more, but I guess coal is. We got 11 diamonds. Can't beat that. Shut up, Cecil. So, but like I said, the biggest thing is to have fun in whatever you do. And there's this old phrase that if your job is something you have fun at and you enjoy, then it feels like you never work a day in your life. You know what I'm saying? So, so yeah, like I said, just play with it. And here's the biggest thing. Don't get discouraged. Because guess what? You make a YouTube channel and in the first week, you put out 3 videos and all of them get like 2 views. Awesome. Because think about it this way. The week before you started, you had 0 views. You were up 200%, buddy. Yeah, and just keep doing it. Give you guys a little bit back on me. When I decided to do this, I decided to kind of go at it gun-ho. Now, once you guys have work, you guys have school and stuff going on, I had nothing better to do. I hung out with my kids and then, screamed at my computer. So, but when I first started, my first week, I had 6 series, 6 different mod packs I was playing completely by myself. And I was doing, 5 of them once a week, and then 1 of them twice a week. I started at 7 videos a week, but I had the time. But like I said, just build up to it. See if it's something like, if you're going to stream, you're going to stream to nobody for a while. And that right there, that's just practice. You think about it, if you play in a band, when you have band practice, you play to nobody but the band. You don't not have band practice because there's no one around. You keep practicing. And that way, when you do have people around, you're better at it. So, but, all right, guys. Well, that was like a little kind of offshoot, breaking the 4th wall window. All we got a pretty good bounty of stuff. I'm very happy with what we got. You know, we got obviously, you know, a little bit of coal. I'll probably look for a little bit. I'll probably do more mining in between episodes. I just want to do a little bit with you guys. So, did I have any more bronze in this thing over here? Or was that all I had? So, you know, like I said, I really hope that this. Is there a guy in there? I really hope this helped. I really hope this maybe, for any of you guys that have been thinking about it, you know, and you know, it might have helped a little bit. And you got to keep in mind, I've been doing this for a while, but I'm horribly forgetful. You guys all know that, but I don't forget what I've already done, right? I mean, I got that down. I know what I've done. And plus, you got to keep in mind, I have so many friends who started doing YouTube relatively recently that I've gotten to see this from the beginning. And I'm going to tell you right now, you know, I get more excited when, you know, Snoop and Heather and Krista and Lynn and Doggeth and everybody in the squad, even people that aren't in it, you know, when Husky or Jerome or anybody hits like a milestone in this, you know, maybe it's, you know, they hit a certain subscriber number, maybe they hit a certain amount of video uploads, certain amount of views, maybe it's a certain amount of followers on Twitch, whatever, you know, a certain amount of Instagram or Twitter, whatever. I get more excitement at overseeing people that are my friends that I care about hit these milestones more than I even do myself. Like, I'll tell you right now, I'm gonna get more excited when Heather hits 5,000 subscribers than I will if I hit 50,000. You know what I'm saying? Which is ridiculous, but you know, hey, that's the way it is. And if you kind of keep that mentality going into this, not only are you gonna have more fun, but hell, you're gonna have more friends. So, but all right, guys. So there's literally just an episode of me just babbling on, and I really hope that at least a fraction of that was coherent. Was at least a small part of that made a droplet of sense, and if it helped just one person who's had questions or thoughts or anything about this, if it helped one person, then you know what? I'm good. It's cool. So, there's a lot of sand over here. So, all right, guys. Well, I'm gonna just murder cows, and I don't even need the meat. Just like the sound of death. Just kidding. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this video, it was a little bit weird, so I understand a lot of people really dug it, but you know, if it's something that helps, if it's something that you enjoyed, if it was you know, even if you thought everything I said was just a bunch of nonsense, awesome. It's nonsense, but hey, at least if you enjoyed it, make sure you hit that like button. Questions, comments, concerns, put them down in the comments section. And yeah, until the next episode of Infinity, where we'll get a little bit more back into character, a little bit more back on accomplishing something astounding, you know. I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out. And until then, we will see you guys later. Bye.